Hi, I am Dr. K. Sai Prasad Reddy. Welcome to the subject software testing. Today we are going to discuss about graphical user interface testing, which is shortly called as GUI testing. See, what do you mean with the GUI? GUI is nothing but user interface. That means with the help of the GUI, the user will interact with the system. The user will operate in the application. So what are the things, what are the entities or attributes that will present in the GUI? Simple. Arrows are there, icons will be there, scroll bars will be there, menu bars will be there, toolbars will be there, right? So LED boxes will be there, data entry fields will be there. So all these will come under GUI, right? See, as a software test engineer, you have to do GUI testing. That is, GUI testing is a part of our system testing. And in this GUI testing, the software test engineers has to concentrate more on Windows compliance standards, screen validation standards. That means, as a software test engineer, while you are doing this GUI testing, you have to do this Windows compliance standards validation and the screen validation standards. What are these two and what we are supposed to do, that we will discuss today. Now, see, first, Windows compliance standards. See, these are all the standards across the globe, right? Now, irrespective of the application, if and only if the client specifies particularly otherwise, irrespective of these applications, these are all the standards that will present in the screen. Now see, first one, Windows resize options. As a software test engineer, while performing GUI testing, you have to test Windows resize options also. That means, if you take any window, on the top right corner, you will have the three options as shown in this figure. One is a minimize, second one is a maximize or resize, third one is close. See, most of you guys knows about all these options and all these usage of these options. But just in a technical way, in the perspective of testing, I am explaining all these options. In the perspective of testing, as a software test engineer, what you are supposed to do testing, what you are supposed to test, that I am going to cover now, right? So, for each and every window, the software test engineers has to test whether this minimize, maximize and close options are present or not. If options are present, then whether these three options are working properly or not, that you have to test, right? And the second one is tab. In your keyboard, you can find the tab button. By using the tab button, see, once you press on the tab button, the cursor should move from left to right and also from top to bottom in the window. That means, see, according to the availability of these particular options, that cursor, when you press on the tab key in your keyboard, the cursor should move either from left to right or from top to bottom according to the design of the screen or design of the window. Clear? Next, shift plus tab. What it means? By pressing the shift as well as the tab both at a time. Now, the thing is that the cursor should move from right to left and from bottom to top. This is against to this second one, previous one, right? The cursor should move from right to left and also from bottom to top. As a software test engineer, you have to test these also, right? And text. In any window or in the screen, by default, that the text should be always left justified. If your client specifies that the text should be right justified or the text should be centered, if and only if he specifies, then the text should be designed, the window should be designed according to the client requirement. Otherwise, according to the Windows compliance standards, the text should be left justified. That we have to test, right? Next, edit box. See, if you open any window in your application, you will find n number of edit boxes, multiple number of edit boxes across your application. See, just I have given an example of edit box here, the password. If you open the login page, in the login page you will find the user ID field and the password field. These two are the edit boxes. So what it means? In the edit box, what you are supposed to test, what you are supposed to cover, you have to cover these three criteria. What is that one? In the edit box, the edit box should be designed in such a way that the user should be able to enter the data in the edit box. For example, if you take the password as shown in this picture, the user should be able to enter the password in the edit box field. If the user is not able to enter the data in this edit box field, in the password field, then there is a defect. Immediately you have to report that defect to the developers. Hey developer, I am not able to enter the text in the edit box. There is a defect, like this, right? So next, try to overflow the text. Text should be stopped after the specified length of characters. What it means? Simple. Say, for example, for the password field, according to the client requirement, the minimum characters are 6 and the maximum characters are 16. Say, just I am taking only the example. So, this is only the purely, it's only the example for your better understanding. So, for the password field, the minimum character should be 6 or the maximum character should be 16. Now, if you enter the characters beyond 16, then the entering of the text should be stopped after 16 characters. That is the meaning. That you have to test. Try to overflow the text. And the text should be stopped after the specified length of characters. If it is not getting stopped, that means even after completion of the maximum length of the password, that is in this case 16 characters, even the edit box is accepting the 7th key, 17th character or 18th character, 19th character and so on, immediately you have to report that there is a defect, because according to the client, so that the edit box should be stopped as soon as the specified length of the characters exceeds. Otherwise, if it is accepting more and more number of characters beyond this maximum length of the characters, specified length of the character, obviously there is a defect. And next is, try entering the invalid characters. It should not allow. Obviously, if you enter the invalid data into this password field or in the user ID field or any other edit box, it should not allow. It should display the error message, right? This is the edit box. And the radio buttons. See here, in this picture I have shown you the radio buttons. All of you know about the radio buttons. But as a software test engineer, in the perspective of testing, what you are supposed to do? You have to cover these two criteria in the radio buttons. 1. See, the left and the right arrows should move on selection. That means, if these radio buttons are there, even if you in your keyboard, you will have the 4 arrows. Left arrow, right arrow, top, up arrow, down arrow. Right? So, as a software test engineer, you have to test by using the arrows key also, whether it is moving on selection or not. On selection means it should get selected. That's all. So it should get selected. It should get selected. If this is, see, in the here the female option is get selected. That is on. If male option is get selected, then it is called on. Right? Not only with the arrows, even by clicking by using the mouse. If you click by using the mouse also, that particular radio button should get selected or should move to on position. So, with respect to radio buttons, the software test engineers are supposed to cover these 2 points. If these radio buttons are not getting selected, then it is a defect, right? Yeah. And check boxes. See, this is the example of checkbox. So, a software test engineer has to cover these 2 criteria with respect to checkbox. Clicking with the mouse on that box or on the text should set or unset the box. What it means? See, the user should be able to set. Set means getting selected. Unset means getting deselected. Unselected, right? Clicking with the mouse on this particular box or on the text which is mentioned here, right? So it should get selected. That is a set. It should not get selected means it is unset, right? And also you have to test the same by using the space bar also. In your keyboard, space bar will be there. By using the space bar also, it should perform the same, set or unset, right? Next, command buttons. See, with this command buttons, you have to cover these 3 criteria. What are these 3 criteria? What do you mean with the command button? First, so you might have observed here, see, this is the example of command button. Once if you click on the command button, after clicking on the command button, that action will lead to the another screen. That means here now in this picture, if I click on the browse button, because this browse is a command button. If you click on this browse button, that is on the command button, so immediately that next another screen will be opened, right? These type of the buttons are called the command buttons. Now, so you should have a shortcut keys except OK and cancel buttons. Yes, for this you have to have the shortcut key. And click each button with the mouse should get activated, even with the help of the mouse also. With the help of the mouse, if you click on this command button, it should get activated. That means another screen should be displayed. Then only it is working fine. Even though if you click on this command button by using the mouse, if it is not that another screen is not getting opened, then there is a defect. Immediately how to report the defect to the development team. And the tab to each button and the press space or enter should get activated. Here see, in this command button, OK is there, cancel is there, browse is there. If you click on the tab, if you press on the tab in your keyboard, then each button should get selected. And if you press the space bar or if you enter the space bar, it should get activated. Yes or no? So, this is about command button. Next, drop down list. So, this is the example of drop down list. See here now, what you are supposed to consider while testing the drop down list? You have to consider these 3 criteria. Criteria is nothing but conditions. The meaning of criteria is nothing but conditions. See, pressing the arrow should give the list of the options. So here this is arrow. If you click on this arrow by using your mouse, that drop down list, all the options, the list of the options in the drop down list should be displayed. Right? Next, pressing a letter should bring you to the first item in the list with that start letter. That means, for example, say here, if I press I, that is immediately in the drop down list, that what you call the item which is starting with the letter I, the first item in the list which is starting with the letter I should get displayed and should get enlightened. That means it should be displayed. Yes or no? That you have to test. And pressing the control and F4 should open or drop down the list box. That means if you press control and F4, then that drop down list should get open, right? And it should be drop down. The list should be displayed, right? This is drop down list. And combo box. While testing the combo box or while validating the combo box, validation is nothing but testing. While validating the combo box, software test engineers should concentrate on these two criteria. What is this? See, here I am defining the criteria with respect to this particular options. Other than this, there will be so many, right? For example, here in this combo box, hockey is there. As a software test engineer, you have to check the spelling also. That I am not covering here, right? So like this, the things should be just predominantly what you are supposed to concentrate more, that I am presenting here. In the combo box, the combo box should allow the text to enter. That means user should be able to enter the data or the text into the combo box. So if that combo box is not allowing you to enter the text, then that is a defect. Immediately you have to report the defect to the development team, right? And clicking the arrow should allow the user to choose from the list. So what is this? This is the arrow. Yes or no? This is the arrow. If you click on this arrow, the user should be able or the user should be allowed to choose the list, to choose the option from the list, whether you have to choose this option or this option, this option. So if the user is not able to choose the option in the list, then there is a defect. Immediately you have to report the defect to the development team. Next, list boxes. The example of the list box, right? Now, while validating or testing the list boxes, the software test engineers are supposed to concentrate on these 2 points, these two criteria. Yeah. That list boxes should allow a single selection to be chosen by clicking with the mouse or using the up and down arrows. That means in the list box there will be so many options. There will be so many options in the list box. The user should be able or the user should be allowed to choose only one selection, single selection in this list. You should not be allowed to select multiple number of options, either by using the mouse or by using the up and down arrows in your keyboard, right? And also, pressing a letter should bring you to the first item in the list with that start letter. That means here, say for example, this is a list. What I have done, just I have pressed on the P, right? Or I have pressed on the U, and immediately this option should be selected. Yes or no? Right? So this is called a list box, right? So these are all the things are under the Windows compliance standards. The next is screen validation standards. While validating the screen in the application, what you are supposed to do, what you are supposed to test, that I am going to cover now. See, aesthetic conditions. That means, what do you mean by the aesthetic? Means aesthetic is nothing but look and feel, good look. That is called aesthetic, good looking, or otherwise say beauty of the screen. Yes, this is called aesthetic conditions, right? So that means each and every screen in the application should get validated according to the screen validation standards. software test engineer has to test all the screens which are present in the application, right, according to the screen validation standards. Now see, first, these are all the simple things, just very, very simple. The general screen background should be of the correct color. That means, excuse me, according to the client requirement. So whatever the color that the client has mentioned, the general screen background should be of the same color. The background should be of the correct color. That means within the screen at various places, the client may refer you or the client may prefer the different background colors. According to the client requirement, the background color should be of the correct color. The text in all the fields should be of the same font. So that means there should be a uniformity in the font style. If you are doing the Arial, yes, the text in all the fields should be of the same Arial font. Or otherwise, Times New Roman, yes, Times New Roman. So like this, there should not be any mismatching, right? The same font should be used. And all edit boxes should be aligned perfectly. That means within the screen, you will have n number of edit boxes, or across the application, you will have n number of edit boxes, right? So all these edit boxes should be aligned perfectly. Next, micro help should be available and spelled correctly. What do you mean by this micro help? This is very important, and even for the interview also, this point is very important. Micro help. This is also called as tooltip and also called as mouse over message, right? Some people will call it as a micro help. Some people will call it as a tooltip. Some people will call as mouse over message, MOM, mouse over message. What it means? See, I will show you. Just I will take one example and I will show you. Yeah, for example, say now I have taken this screen, right? Word. Now, if I position my arrow, that is a mouse, on any particular option, then what it will display. Say for example, now I have moved the mouse arrow mark to the save option. Immediately on the screen, save. Within the bracket, Control S is displaying. This is called micro help. That is it's a micro level help. See, for every option, for example, say this is undo, right? So cannot undo something, right? Because I have not done anything, that's why it's not displaying. So for example, this is say bold. Within the bracket, Control plus B. This is italic, Control plus I. This is underline, Control plus U. This is say for example, say font size, Control plus Shift plus P. This is font style, Control plus Shift plus F, right? Like this for each and every option, right? So you will have the micro help. Yes or no? Micro help. That means, see here, if you take this save, right? Save within the bracket Control S, Control plus S. What it mean? Control plus S indicates the shortcut, right? If you want to save any document, you will press Control S, right? So this is the one. Now see here, micro help should be available and spelled correctly. There should not be any spelling mistake in the micro help. That is in the save, Control S, like this. There should not be any mistakes. And all dialog boxes and windows should have the consistent look and feel. All the dialog boxes on the windows should have a consistent look. That means uniformity look and feel, right? It should see if anybody watches that windows, then it should be looking wise, it should be good, right? Next, validation conditions. Failure of a validation on every field should cause a user error message. What it means? See, if you enter any invalid data, for example, login, I have entered valid input, valid user ID and invalid password, and click on the login button or sign in button. What it will display? The system will throw an error message. Hey man, you have entered invalid user ID or invalid password. Please enter valid user ID and valid password. Like this. This is called error message. Failure of validation on every field. What is the failure of operation here? Login is failed. Yes or no? Why it is failed? Because you have entered invalid data. For invalid or failure of validation, the system, the application should show an error message. Next, in the numeric fields, negative numbers should be allowed to enter. Say if there is a field specifically designed for numerical values, that means the field which allows only the numeric fields, right? That numeric fields also should allow the negative numbers that you have to test whether it is allowing or not. Should allow the minimum, maximum and mid-range values of the numeric fields that I have covered in the edit box, in the user, in the password. So that is a minimum of 6 characters, maximum of 16 characters. Within this mid-range also you have to test whether it is accepting or not. And all mandatory fields should require the user input. See, for example, in your application, you might have seen the mandatory fields. The mandatory fields are the fields which are mentioned with the asterisk, that is a star symbol with a red color, right? So those are called mandatory fields. The user should require to use that input for the all mandatory fields. So that you have to test. That what you have to test, how you have to test. See, by entering some data, you have to test whether the mandatory fields are working or not. Without entering any data, if you perform any operation, then that user, that message, error message should be displayed. You have to enter the mandatory field, data into the mandatory field, like this, right? Next, navigation conditions. See, the screen should be accessible correctly from the menu and the toolbar. This is, that is, a menu bar will be there, toolbar will be there. If you click on this any menu bar on the toolbar, the screen should be accessible correctly. And that means the screen should work correctly. And the user should not be prevented from accessing other functions when this screen is active. So that means the user should not be prevented, means the user should be allowed from accessing other functions when this screen is active. That means if you have opened the screen and if you wanted to perform any other options, any other functions, the user should be able to do that functions, right? Next, should not allow to open number of instances of the same screen at the same time. For example, this is the screen which I am displaying to you. So I have already opened this screen. Again, if I wanted to open another same screen, right, it will not open. It should not get opened because it is already opened, right? That is a meaning. So that you have to test. As a software test engineer, under the navigation conditions, you have to validate all these 3 conditions are the criteria. Next, usability condition. Simple. So all the drop downs should be sorted alphabetically unless it is specified. That means in the drop down list there will be n number of options. All these options in the drop down list, that means say here this is a one, right? 1 minute, yeah. In this drop down list, all these options in the drop down list should be arranged alphabetically. That is a meaning, right? Yeah. And all push buttons should have the appropriate shortcut keys and should work properly. So some push buttons will be there. So all these push buttons should have the appropriate shortcut key. What do you mean with the shortcut key? So for example, save, Control S. Yes or no? Bold, Control B. Italic, Control I, like this. So for all these push buttons also, there should be a shortcut key and that shortcut keys should work properly. And all read-only and disabled fields should be avoided in the tab sequence. If there is a read-only option and if any fields are disabled, by using this tab, it should not get selected. It should be avoided. Yes or no? If the field itself is disabled, by using this tab, it should not get selected. If it is getting selected, means there is a defect. Right? Yeah. Should not allow to edit the micro help text. See, if you move your mouse, that means the arrow with the help of the mouse on the save option, then save Control S, text will be displayed. That text should not be allowed to edit, to modify that spelling or something like this, right? That is called the fourth one. Should not allow to edit the micro help text. The cursor should be positioned in the first input field or the control when opened. This is very important for the interview purpose. What it means, I will take one example and I will explain to you. This is a beautiful example. See, the cursor should be positioned in the first input field or control when opened. What it means. Say, if you open the login page, and if you observe, by default, the cursor will be positioned in the user ID field. Yes or no? So that is the meaning. So in the first input field in the login page, what is the first input field? User ID. By default, right? By default, that means automatically, once you open the login page, the cursor should be positioned in the user ID field. Then only the user will be able to enter the text in the user ID field. That is the meaning, right? Yeah. Alt plus tab should not have any impact on the screen upon the return. Saying, if you click on, if for example, say you have opened a multiple number of screens with the different applications, right? Because within the same application, within the screen you cannot open, right? So if you press on the Alt plus a tab, then the user should be able, that the system should be able to display the different screens upon your selection. Yes or no? And once like this, say this is the one. I'm using Alt tab. Now I'm here. Now I'm moving. Alt plus tab. Once you come back to this one, then there should not be any disturbance in the text or there should not be any disturbance in the screen. That is the meaning. Yes or no? Yeah. Data integrity condition. So now, the data should be saved when the window is closed or by double clicking on the close box. That means automatically the data should be stored. And their characters should not be truncated. The characters within this data, that means there should not be any truncation, right? In any where you are entering the data, right? And next, maximum and minimum field values for numeric fields should be verified. So by using for the numeric fields also, you have to test whether the maximum number of numerical values are accepting by the system, by the numerical field or not, whether the minimum number of numeric values that is accepted by the numeric fields or not. That you have to verify. Negative values should be stored and accessed from the database correctly. Even for the negative values also, the values should be stored in the database properly and correctly. And whenever you want, then the negative values also should be accessed from the, that means should get fetched from the database. And the modes. So generally there are two modes. One is editable mode, second one is read-only mode. Editable mode means where you can do the edit. That edit option will be there. Whereas read-only, just you have to read, that's all. You cannot do any manipulations or you cannot do any alterations or you cannot do any modifications in this one. That is called read-only. The screen and field colors should be adjusted correctly for read-only mode. Yes. See, in the screen, the field colors or the things should get adjusted correctly in the read-only mode. And all fields and controls should be disabled in the read-only mode. If you open any screen in the read-only mode, if that is the screen itself is a read-only mode, now all the fields and the controls and all the options or icons and everything should get disabled. That means if these get disabled, then user is not able to modify or user is not able to change, right? And no validation is performed in the read-only mode. So that means you cannot do any validations in the read-only mode, right? Next, These are the general conditions. Help menu should exist, obviously. If you take any window, that the help menu should be there. All buttons on all toolbars should have the corresponding key commands. Yes. Abbreviations should not be used in the drop-down list. Yes, because if you use the abbreviations, the end users will not get, they may get confused. They cannot identify. Right? For example, say browse. So in this drop-down list, we have mentioned drop-down list. In the drop-down list, so if you mentioned any abbreviation like PNR or KNR or CNR or something, then the user will not be able to understand, right? And duplicate hotkeys and the shortcut keys should not exist. There should not be any duplicate keys or shortcut keys, right? And the escape key and the cancel button should get cancelled or close the application, obviously. See, for example, if you click on the escape button in your in the keyboard, right? Or if you click on the cancel button, so obviously the escape key or the cancel button should cancel or that sometimes should close that application. And the OK and the cancel button should be grouped properly or separately, right? That means OK button should be separated and cancel button should be separated. These two OK and cancel buttons should not be in the same field. It should be separated. And the command buttons, names should not be abbreviations. See, that is, say for example, this is command button, right? Yeah. Now here see, browse is there, right? So that means the name of this command button should be mentioned fully without any abbreviation. So instead of browse, if you use BWS, is it possible to understand by the end user? No. If and only if you mention the full name on this command button, then only user will be able to understand. Yes, this is a browse. Instead of browse, if you mention here as BWS or BWE or something, then the user will get confusion, right? User will not be able to understand, right? So that is a meaning. Clear? Yeah. And the field labels and the names should not be technical labels. They should be meaningful to the system users. See, for example, say field labels and the names, whatever the names that you are mentioning on the labels should not be technical word, because all the end users which they are using the application are not technical people. So the names or the labels of the field should be in general. It should be meaningful to the end users or to the system users. All command buttons should be of the similar size, shape, font and font size. Yes, all the command buttons within this application should have the same similar size, and also the shape should be the same, and the font style should be the same, and the font size should be the same. Mouse action should be consistent throughout the screen. See, that means if you are using this mouse option, mouse action, then this action should be a consistent throughout the screen, across the screen, right? And the screen or window should not have a cluttered appearance. What do you mean by the cluttered appearance? Cluttered appearance is nothing but what do you mean by cluttered? Say, for example, yeah, cluttered means mentioning all the things at the same place, pouring all the things at the same place. That is called cluttered, right? That is without following any order. That is a disorder, right? The screen or the window should not have any disorders with respect to fields or the things, right? That is called cluttered appearance. And Alt plus F4 should close the window or the application. That means, so if you press on the Alt and F4, then that window or the application should get closed. So for example here, just now I am clicking on the Alt F4. Now, see, it should get closed. That's all. Right? Yeah. See, so these are all these different validations. As a software test engineer, you have to focus more on GUI testing, and you should not miss even a little thing, or you should not ignore even small things. you should not ignore or miss even the small things also, right? This is very important. GUI testing is very important, right? So please subscribe my channel and share my videos to all the student groups and like my videos, and also please post your comments in the comment box. Thank you.